Hello everyone, I am Dr. Suresh, an assistant professor in the Department of Management and IT in the Management Education and Research Institute, Delhi. I am going to talk about green marketing and related topics through a series of video lectures. So let's begin. So first I will present a brief description of the context due to which this topic is worth discussing for management students and practitioners alike. So probably we all know that our planet Earth is facing a lot of environmental problems. For example, greenhouse gas emissions, global warming, climate change, all kinds of pollutions, air pollution, water pollution, and so on. So one may argue that these problems are the accumulations of the effects of industrial revolution. So just let us think of the kinds of products. For example, all the chemicals, including plastics, being made, and not only the way these products are produced in factories, but also how the wastes are disposed of. So our very survival depends on countermeasures to these problems. And green marketing is one such countermeasure. So after all, marketers also have a role to play. So marketers have long prioritized profits over anything, least of all over the thoughts of environmental problems and sustainability issues. So some may suggest that private enterprises merely safeguard the environment in order to comply with various rules. However, several businesses now acknowledge that they are part of a larger community. As a result, these private companies have begun to behave more ecologically friendly and attempting to attain environmental goals in addition to economic objectives. So as a result, many businesses are now taking steps voluntarily to protect the environment. So there are some shining examples where private enterprises have aligned their business interests with environmental concerns, and yet they have been able to earn considerable profits and brand values. So I will discuss with you a remarkable case next, where green marketing made a great impact on the company's success. So the company's name is Patagonia, and it is headquartered in California, America. So why Patagonia? There are several reasons that justify why one should study the case of Patagonia. So when it comes to working for environmental concerns, mostly NGOs and activists which are funded by governments or charities by few wealthy people come to our mind. However, it is not the case with Patagonia. First of all, it is for a profit American company which is earning good profits in its private business. At the same time, it works consistently for environmental concerns. In fact, it has been implementing strategies to lessen the environmental impact of its operations since its founding. So many even consider the company to be a pioneer in corporate environmentalism. Furthermore, Patagonia has shown massive growth rates year after year with no slowdown even during the financial crisis of 2008. Inversely, the company was able to grow even faster during those periods. So between 2011 and 13, for example, the company's revenue increased by 40%. Now one could argue that the product quality and growing public interest in sports, which is the domain of Patagonia, may explain to this success to some extent, but that variable does not entirely account for the rapid pace of growth. Coincidentally or not, by the end of 2011, Patagonia strengthened its communication of green concerns to the consumers by releasing two green marketing campaigns that we will talk about in detail in later slides, and those were making high buzz on social media platforms. So in one of them, actually Patagonia discouraged its consumers from buying their own products. So this is quite uncommon strategy, since for-profit organizations willingly taking the risk of asking their consumers not to buy their products to protect the environment is highly unlikely. Hence, the high growth presented by Patagonia over the years seems to be somewhat a result of green marketing campaigns. Okay, so let me give you a little more talk about company and its founder. So Patagonia was founded by Yvon Chouinard in 1973 as a small private-owned company that produced clothes and equipment for climbers, since Chouinard was a climber himself. So Patagonia's culture has been shaped by the values of its founder. So Patagonia's four core values of its business are quality, integrity, environmentalism, and innovation. So these are translated in the production of simple, useful, high-quality products with low environmental impact, not following fashionable trends. So still today, more than 50 years after company's foundation, the core values that shape the business remain unchanged. These values also include a strong concern with the environment that can be attested simply by looking at its mission statement. That is, to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. So as Patagonia grew, Chouinard became even more aware of environmental impact of his company's activities and started to look more carefully on the operations to find ways to decrease the company's environmental footprint. So now let's talk about Patagonia's business model. So even though being a for-profit organization, Patagonia's business model is completely different from its competitors. See, the company does not give primacy to profits other than important values, such as trying to find solutions for the current environmental crisis. So this has led to the introduction of green supply chain management in the company. That means the integration of environmental concerns in the different steps of supply chain, including product design, supplier selection, manufacturing processes, communication of the products to the consumers, among others. So nonetheless, profits and growth are still two important objectives, and Patagonia has done reasonably well there. So let's talk about the Patagonia's product lines. So Patagonia mainly sells clothes to outdoor sports, operating in the broad sports wear industry. Patagonia, unlike the big companies, for example, Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, so targets a niche market in the sportswear industry. So it does not sell clothes for all sports. Instead, it focuses only on selling clothes to outdoor sports such as skiing, surfing, that involve spending time with nature. So even though climbing continues to take an important place in the heart of its business, Patagonia diversified its business scope, starting selling garments for other outdoor sports such as snowboarding, surfing, skiing, etc., and even started to operate in different categories such as food. So products are produced overseas by third parties, and there are more than 20 factories worldwide producing Patagonia's products, and the majority of these factories are in Asia or in Latin America. So unlike its competitors, Patagonia sells their products mainly through their own retail stores at a premium price, avoiding discount retailers to sell it at a lower price in the end of the season. Now, the company has grown tremendously and has a worldwide presence with retail stores in Americas, Europe, Japan, and other Asian countries as well. Its presence in US and Japan is quite strong, and Patagonia still sells a large portion of its products through catalogs where consumers can place their orders by mail. Now, these days, the company strongly relies in online sales also, and it is a growing segment in its distribution chain. Now, talking about Patagonia's target market, it is not really restrictive in terms of demographics. the company sells clothes for men and women of any age. Even though broad, the company is able to meet the needs of different segments. And instead, the company's main efforts are to attract people passionate about outdoor sports with high environmental concerns. Now, talking about Patagonia's sales, so it's consistently over $1 billion since last 3 years or so. So Patagonia's sales have been growing every year, and they were not even affected by the financial crisis of 2008. That's interesting. So in contrast, its sales were increasing during that time of recession. So during 2009 and 10, the best years were of the companies in terms of revenues. Okay. So that's a very interesting case where all other companies were not doing that well in their sales. It was able to make such sales and recording huge profits also. So Patagonia has annual sales of over 1 billion for last 3 years, as I told already. So a lot of reasons might explain the company's success in these years of economic slowdown. So let's try to find out the answers. So contrasting with the general sportswear industry, the hiking and outdoor equipment is very much concentrated, and Patagonia is focused in that only. And it does not try to reach its competitors' values in terms of revenues, but the company prefers to focus on increasing its environmental concerns before achieving higher profitability. The fact that its products are not sold in several discount stores around the world is a strategy taken to protect the environment, but raises difficulty in increasing awareness on the company's products. Okay. Even after that, Patagonia is clearly outshining its main competitors in terms of environmental protection. The primary interest of its main competitors is profitability, contrasting with that of Patagonia, that does not give primacy to profits over environmental protection. So this is reflected in marketing strategies of the companies also. So unlike its competitors who rely on the traditional marketing techniques to advertise its products, Patagonia communicates with its consumers through green marketing campaigns. So between 2011 and 13, so Patagonia launched 2 highly innovative green marketing campaigns. Okay. So therefore, to understanding Patagonia's action to protect the environment might help explain the high success Patagonia reached over the years. So we will talk about these things in detail now. So Patagonia is considered to be one of the earliest pioneers in corporate environmentalism, that is, the integration of environmental concerns in the company's strategies, plans, actions and supply chain. And Patagonia has introduced these environmental concerns in its daily activities. For example, from the selection of raw materials to the analysis of what consumers do with the products after its use. So let me illustrate this with the help of several practices introduced by Patagonia to reduce its environmental impact. In terms of production, several important practices were introduced. For example, in 2006, the company started to use recycled polyester and organic cotton in its production process. The introduction of these materials had positive environmental impact since, for example, 20,000 liters of water per kilogram of cotton used were saved. Additionally, Patagonia decided to reduce the number of factories in its supply chain by 1/3. So this measure was meant to increase the internal communication between the different factories and the headquarters in order to ensure that the environmental policies were being applied everywhere. Now, when it comes to choose the factories which will produce companies' products, Patagonia assesses their environmental and social performance to ensure that it is up to Patagonia's standards. Moreover, Patagonia also introduced environmental concerns in the way it communicates with external stakeholders. So in 2001, the company decided to donate time and services and 1% of sales revenue each year to environmental non-profit organizations, a campaign called 1% for the Planet. Besides, the company used its environmental knowledge to provide advice services to other organizations aiming to introduce some environmental protectionist policies in their own chain of production. Later on, in 2007, Patagonia launched the Footprint Chronicle website to bring transparency into their supply chain. This platform allows consumers to learn more about the company's products. The company discloses information about the farms where the raw materials are collected from, as well as the factories where the products are produced. Hence, this increases consumers' trust on companies' claims. So, later, Patagonia strengthened the communication of environmental concerns to its consumers through highly innovative green marketing campaigns. So, that we will talk about. So, first, in 2011, the company launched the Worn Wear program, where it encouraged consumers to return all their used products for recycling. Besides, through this program, Patagonia offers free repair to the clothes and equipment damaged with a lifetime guarantee. If the product has no possibility to be repaired, the company recycles its materials in the production of new products. So, Patagonia has also formed a close partnership with eBay to convince consumers to sell their used products online rather than throwing them away. And they have even started to sell used merchandise at its own retail stores. Now, in 2011 itself, the company has released a very innovative green marketing campaign, "Do not buy this jacket," where they discourage their consumers from buying their products unless they have an absolute necessity for it. So, we will talk about it in more details now. So, in the year 2011, on the Black Friday, so Patagonia launched this unexpected marketing effort, "Do not buy this jacket," on Black Friday 2011, the first Friday after Thanksgiving in the United States. So, Black Friday is the day that marks the start of Christmas shopping, when shops typically provide significant discounts and special deals on certain products to encourage consumption. On the contrary, Patagonia during this Black Friday placed a full-page ad in the New York Times in which they challenged consumers to buy less instead of rewarding consumption, even their own products. So, the campaign's primary purpose was to lessen Patagonia's footprint in the environmental catastrophe. The idea was that the corporation would only be able to lessen its environmental impact if individuals began consuming less, recognizing that their manufacturing method is not environmentally friendly. For example, 135 liters of water were consumed during each product's creation. So, Patagonia advised its consumers not to buy their items through the "Do not buy this jacket" campaign. So, this promotion was repeated in subsequent years and quickly spread to include all of the company's products. Ultimately, the company hoped that whenever consumers needed to buy a new product, they would choose Patagonia. However, the company did not intend to increase its revenues. Indeed, numerous experts viewed these efforts as extremely dangerous, with potential negative consequences for the company's sales. Despite that, the results in the following years were extremely positive for Patagonia. In 2012, Patagonia's sales climbed by nearly one-third to 545 million. Between 2011 and 2013, the company's revenue climbed by 40%. this campaign, together with the One Wear program, generated more conversation and influence on social media than any other Patagonia campaign. Analyzing consumers' reactions revealed that almost all of them believe the company's claim to be a genuine attempt to protect the environment. So Patagonia's advertisement is definitely a green marketing effort with an active approach. So Patagonia is going above and beyond what existing regulations required in order to lessen its environmental footprint. Furthermore, the campaign was able to acquire the trust of majority of customers by communicating concerns about the environment in a trustworthy manner, while acknowledging the product's negative effects also. So Patagonia's efforts to protect the environment are appreciated by all customers. So in recent years, the corporation has improved its communication of environmental issues to its consumers through green marketing efforts. And these campaigns generated a lot of talk on social media, and it actually resulted in great growth rates and over $1 billion sales year after year. Okay, and it has outpaced almost all of its competitors. Okay, and the company was able to grow faster than its immediate competitors. Okay, which actually grew about only 18% during the same period. So as a result, it appears that in addition to the increased popularity of outdoor sports, other variables are contributing to the company's recent success. So green marketing activities appear to be the most likely explanation for this. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this case study. So next, in the next slide, so we will talk about some of the topics that we are going to discuss in the upcoming videos. For example, in the next video, we will talk about introduction to green marketing. What does it mean and what are its scope? Traditional and digitized green marketing actions, historical background, green marketing mix, application of green marketing, advantages and disadvantages. And we will continue with more topics. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the talk. Thanks for listening.